Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today for this talk entitled An Innovative Product That Goes Beyond the Concepts of Pre, Pro and Postbiotics. As you may know, I'm Marco Ruggiero, I hold an MD and PhD, and this product I talk about is called OneVar, the one and only panbiotic. And the talk and the product are made exclusively for Danabiologics and Mr. Choi-Yuk. Before we start, please allow me to introduce myself. I obtained my MD in 1980 in Florence, Italy. I have a PhD in molecular biology and a specialization in diagnostic radiology. As a young postdoc, I worked at Burroughs Wellcome in 1984 in North Carolina, USA, and later as visiting scientist at the National Cancer Institute of the NIH in Bethesda, Maryland, since 1987. Later, I was appointed professor of molecular biology at the University of Firenze, or Florence if you prefer, in Italy, in 1992, where I worked until 2014. I am the founder of Silver Spring, a Swiss company specialized in research and development of innovative approaches and products, including OneVar, the product I'm talking about today. Over the course of my scientific career, I published more than 240 scientific articles, co-authored, among others, by scientists such as Eduardo Lapetina, Stu Aronson, Jackie Pearce, Peter Duesberg, Henry Bauer, the late Dr. Jeff Bradstreet, Dietrich Klinghardt. One of my articles was sponsored by Nobel laureate Sir John Vane. My current research interests are in immunotherapy, oncology, and neurosciences. Also, before we start, please remember that no information in this talk is presented as medical advice. Standard of care for every disease must be followed, as well as rules and regulations established by health authorities. I wish to disclose my conflict of interest that is quite evident here, because I have designed a number of protocols and approaches to different diseases, and I developed the product, OneVar, and the approaches mentioned in this talk. I wish to thank Mr. Choi-Yuk of Danabiologics for his priceless support. This talk is for him, this product is for him and his company. And also I wish to thank all those who will watch this video for the attention that they will want to give to this presentation. So, what is OneVar? What makes OneVar? Essentially, there are 5 components. Because OneVar is an original entire ecosystem with self-assembling supramolecular structures. The components are zinc, an essential mineral, a proprietary culture of prokaryotes and eukaryotes with their theater of activity, a long-chain sulfated polysaccharide, LCSP, of vegetal origin, endowed with GC-MAF-like activity. More on GC-MAF later. And then there are 2 botanical extracts. The first one is a botanical extract with known anti-inflammatory, immune-modulating, anti-cancer, antioxidant properties. Then there is a second botanical extract that contains natural free phenolic compounds, fibers, macro and micronutrients with known anti-inflammatory, immune-modulating, anti-cancer properties and known to rebalance sugar and lipid metabolism. Another important point is that OneVar is designed according to a proprietary, highly innovative procedure that optimizes molecular interactions between its 4 or 5 components, so to increase their respective activities. In other words, OneVar is not the result of the addition of the activities of its 5 components, but the result of the multiplication of the activities of its 5 components. In other words, if the biological activity of each individual component of one var were 10, the overall activity of the self-assembled components would be 10 by 10 by 10 by 10, 100,000, rather than 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 that makes 50. In other words, its activity is 100,000 versus 50. This synergism is obtained at the molecular level through carefully calibrated interactions associated with the distribution of charges on the surface of molecules, leading to self-assembly of entirely original supra- and super-supramolecular structures. Let's move to the second component of one var, a proprietary culture of prokaryotes and eukaryotes with their theater of activity. Of course, the precise microbial composition of the proprietary culture of prokaryotes and eukaryotes is protected by intellectual property, so I cannot give you all the details, but let me just bring an example, the Saccharomyces boulardii. It is one example of the eukaryotes that compose the proprietary culture, and let me give an example of their health-supporting properties. The S. boulardii shows many activities. Let me just list a few of them: antimicrobial, antitoxin, anti-inflammatory. But most important in the context of one var is the regulation of immune responses, among which it triggers the activation of complement and migration of monocytes and granulocytes, thus synergizing with the natural GCMAF of one var, that is the LCSP. Enhances the mucosal immune response, enhances the systemic immune response, contributes to earlier production of interferon gamma and interleukin 12, stimulates regulatory T cells, modifies migration of lymphocytes in a chronic inflammatory bowel disease model, modifies, that is, improves, lymphocyte adherence to endothelial cells, improves cell rolling and adhesion. In other words, it has a number of functions that support the immune system. What is the theater of activity that I have mentioned more than once? Well, this is a novel concept because what is important is not only the probiotics, it is the microbes, bacteria, or eukaryotes like the S. boulardii and eukaryote, but it is important what they make, what they have together with them, that are the microbial structure elements like protein and peptides, lipids, polysaccharides, their nucleic acids like DNA, RNA, and also the mobile genetic elements like plasmids or the phages that they carry with them, also called bacteriophages, that compose the human virome that is has been recently described, and it is essential for our health. And also there are relic DNA. And then there are the environmental conditions that contribute to this complex, well-defined habitat that has distinct biophysiochemical properties. And then there are the microbial metabolites and the postbiotics that are those molecules that are produced by the microbes, signaling molecules, anorganic molecules, GCMAF produced by the microbes. So in one var, we have all of these. We don't have only the probiotics, we have the prebiotics, the postbiotics. This is why one var is called the one and only panbiotic.